What happened in 1971? Why do we always hear that year mentioned when we talk about inflation or monetary policy or economic conditions? Well, the truth is, 1971 was really an inflection point that changed the course of economic history forever. On August 15th, 1971, President Richard Nixon ended the Bretton Woods Agreement and officially severed the United States dollar's tie to gold, the United States dollar's link to gold. Nixon, in other words, closed the gold window and ended the gold standard. This gave the central bank or the Federal Reserve more power over money and the ability to print it for government expenditures. By severing the United States dollar's link to gold, closing the gold window, this allowed the United States government to print and spend money with essentially no restraints. This allowed us to fund welfare programs, entitlement programs, fund wars. It allowed us to fund Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, other conflicts in the Middle East, the war in Ukraine, etc. And I was able to have the co-creator of the website WTFhappened1971.com and WTF1971.com come on my show for an interview. This was an awesome conversation that we were able to have. We were able to dive deep into Austrian economics, monetary policy, kind of money in general, the impact that's had on average Americans, Bitcoin, and more. So I want to take this time to kind of announce that he came on my show, give you guys a little bit of a preview on what actually happened in 1971, kind of the idea behind it, and show you a little bit more about the website and what that means. So the website WTFhappened1971.com is very well known, especially kind of in the Austrian economics community, the Bitcoin community. A lot of people talk about this. And essentially what this website is a giant compilation of data, graphs, charts that show you kind of just inflection points and on different things that happened after 1971 and the dollar was severed from gold. So like for example here, you see worker pay has not kept pace with productivity since the 1970s. And you see, a graph, real GDP, real wages, and trade policies in the US, 1971. And it's just a giant website of different charts and data about what's happened since 1971 and the dollar being taken off the gold standard, essentially. So this website is awesome. I'd encourage anyone to check it out if they're looking for more info on kind of economics and what happened when we closed the gold window. This site is very well known. It's followed by a lot of people. A lot of people refer to it. U.S. national debt, 1971. Whew. Just crazy stuff. But this website is awesome. I'd encourage anyone to check it out. But even though they have this website, they also have another website as well that is WTF 1971, and this is more of a blog. It gives a lot of good articles, book lists, podcasts, etc. I recommend people check that out as well, WTF1971.com. And then I wanted to also share, kind of just get a look at their social media. So they're pretty big following on X. You can find them here. WTF happened in 1971. Got their link to their two websites here. Almost 31,000 followers. Pretty solid following. A lot of big people follow this account. Sefadine, who wrote the Bitcoin Standard. Billionaire Mark Andreessen, who's a famous venture capitalist, follows it. Jack Mallers, who's the founder of Strike, and he's really big in the Bitcoin space, follows this account. So they're really well known. A lot of people kind of post at them. They retweet a lot of good stuff. And the last thing is the co-creator of WTF Happened in 1971.com chose to remain anonymous on my show, which is totally okay. But he also goes under the alias on Twitter, Heavily Armed Clown, which, he wanted me to call him Hack for short, HAC. And he's got a pretty big following here, almost 20,000 followers. And this account is mainly him talking about Bitcoin. So Hack was kind enough to come on my show. We were able to talk about all these different things. What actually happened in 1971, what that meant for Americans, kind of the fiat standard that occurred afterwards. Talked a lot about Bitcoin, trying to explain that a little bit to the audience. But it was really an awesome show, and I'm super pumped to release it. I'm going to release it on Tuesday next week. And wanted to give you guys this little preview here, but having him on was awesome. This is probably my, most interesting podcast I've done yet. So again, Check out his websites, WTFhappened1971.com, WTF1971.com. Check out his social media. And I'm looking forward to releasing this show.